What's going on, everybody? CaptainRoBear and crew here for episode, not 40, episode 41 of Stormforge. You guys are back on track again, and because Marrow Strand canceled, you guys are going to go neck and neck again.
Coming for you, Marrow Strand.
I love this battle we didn't sign up for.
They are very into it.
No one, but I think it's just me. I think it's just me who's like coming for Marrow Strand. No one else cares.
It's okay because they're all very into it in their episode lead. They started so much earlier too. They have no excuse.
I have this hilarious image of like Radio, Ice, Adam, Feisty, the whole gang just gathered around a table somewhere being like, we gotta keep pushing. I don't understand how we can't figure out this scheduling stuff. And then on the other side, everyone's just sitting here being like, man, we were in the same episode. That's not funny.
Unless your hand's falling off, you better be there.
Oh, it makes me happy.
Adam and Radio breaking into Feisty's hospital room being like,
Right?
Breathe!
For the camera.
Breathe!
At his bed.
Oh, yeah. His whole household's sick today, so good luck to those over in lovely SD. Been there. Oh, poor Bife is escaping his cam box. Let me help you out there, my friend. Let me put you back in the box.
He cannot be contained.
I'm in a glass case.
Truly. Who has big announcements they want to let the community know about before we get started?
Well, Sam's smiling at me, so I guess this falls to me. We have just announced that over on Wounded Warrior Project, next Tuesday, we are going to be starting a brand new campaign using Free League Publishing's The One Ring system, and it is set in the 4th age of Middle-earth, after the books, charting here thither untold history in Middle-earth. I'm incredibly excited. We have an incredible array of players. We have the wonderful Beck Godsey. We have Critical Bard. We have Lexi, also known as Black Girl Mage. We have Jasper William Cartwright, and we have Sam. It is a stacked table. It is an incredible story that we're going to be telling. Go check out 4th Age TTRPG on Twitter for more updates. Beautiful character art by Anna Sassy. You will also be able to see the always wonderful Stella Luna's incredible overlay designs as part of our campaign. We are putting everything into this, and it is going to be incredibly special. Not only that, but it's going to be raising money for a very worthy cause. So join us on April the 30th over on Wounded Warrior Project and see the next part in Middle-earth's history. We can't wait for you to be a part of it.
DM'd by Ed.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm involved as well.
I'm just gonna
to a lesser degree.
That cast is so goddamn stacked. Holy
It's
shit.
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait till you see their characters. Oh boy.
I've seen those
It
characters.
was the definition
and...
whenever it was the definition of everyone being like, I want to be both Viggo Mortensen and Liv Tyler. It's like, okay, everyone's
Oh man, I know my friends are eating good right now because when I wake up, it's like ba-ding, da-ding, 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 at the top of my Twitter. I'm like, yes, yeah.
That's my friend's win, and that's my friend's win.
Oh, truly.
I don't know if I have anything. I don't know. My memory is really shot. I'm really tired. I went to the Dimension 20 show yesterday and it was incredible. And I'm still riding that high, but also really tired as well at the same time. So I don't know how that works. But the thing I do have to announce is tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern over on my channel, Draconics, and also at Super Dylan's channel. That's Super Dylan, Dillin. We're going to be doing a live stream one shot of Void. I believe it's 1680 AM, which is a radio-style TTRPG. And we're going to be crowdfunding for me to go to Gen Con, and hopefully if we reach a goal, New York as well. It's going to be one of many streams I'm going to be doing throughout however long I'll be doing them between now and Gen Con to raise money for Gen Con, but it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have incentives that I haven't nailed down just yet, because I'll be honest, I haven't looked at the game yet, so I'm going to be figuring it out on the fly. Dylan has much more experience with it, but there's going to be some tip incentives to manipulate and mess around with the game as well. But yeah, that's going to be on my channel, Draconics, DRAKONIQUES, and Sepa Dinner's channel, Sepa, DILLIN, at 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow.
I don't think we have ever given your Twitch channel a proper shout out. So
That's because I don't really stream on it.
well, you know what? But ow. Let's see this. This should work. Ta-da! Let's go.
Thank you. You can follow me there. You'll also see my old videos there. Pay no mind to them. I got some very embarrassing gameplay videos. They're not embarrassing. They were Drak from the past. They were baby Drak, but
My God,
very
as
different
someone
from
who
what I
has-
am now.
I have erased Baby Bife from existence. I get it. Don't worry. There is an entire
I
era
remember-
of content on my channel that does not exist anymore.
I used to I wanted to do video game streaming a bunch. So I did a lot, and I remember being pretty consistent with it. And then one day I did like a maybe 3-hour stream of Hyperlight Drifter. And then after the stream, I realized I was muted the entire time, and I was like, "That's it, I'm done. I'm done."
Oh,
Dude,
no.
we have all been there. We have all been there.
That is, man, that's rough,
Yep.
buddy.
Yep, I remember a Sea of Thieves stream when I first started. That was a good 2.5 hours. I was on mute. You know, your 5 buddies that were lurking your stream aren't there to tell you that they turned it on your starting soon stream. You're just into the void.
Imagine how much bandwidth has been eaten up over all of human history by that. That's kind of crazy. Right?
Muted streams.
We'll add
You
all
get
of human
statistics
of
on that.
history a lot.
Twitch needs to take the level of austerity that all these shopping carts are. You get the quarter back, but you have to put the quarter in to get the buggy and cart, okay? This is what they should do with ingesting, because they just will never, it's just people that feed the quarter that never get it back. Ed, do you have a channel on Twitch already?
Yeah.
Which
Twitch.tv/Wounded Warrior Project.
Yeah, I
Have you-
literally I set up a Twitch channel so I could follow people. That was it. I have nothing on there. I think I have a very out of date image on there, which is me with a horrible natty beard. So yeah, that's the only draw. Unless I've updated that, I don't know. But yeah, no, you can follow me, but I can promise you there will never be anything on that channel. No, that is a promise. I don't need to put that out into the world.
Well, yeah, I wanted to ask and double check because I did see this. I don't know why I'm the last person to know this, but you can put everybody's
Everyone's ads.
in the stream title.
Yeah.
And
I think it notifies everyone who's following those people you add, I think, as well. Or is that guest star? It might just be guest star that does that.
I don't know either way.
Yeah, very cool. But yeah, look, they're different colors. It's so cool.
Yeah.
I love that. Any
I think
other
it goes
announcements?
off your stream color, like the color you pick in your settings.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, because I am like an orangey red.
Because mine is a very annoying pink for people who use light mode. It's I use light mode.
Whoever's left.
He would use light mode.
I use light mode.
Dude, the tease of G Drive getting dark mode and then it not being on the spreadsheets or the docs. Okay, well, hey, here it goes again. This is me in dark mode. Boom! This is me when I pull up Stormforge notes. It's literally like having a damn key light over here switching between them.
Do you have an extension? I have an extension that makes it into dark mode.
Yep, it's worked overtime for years. Frankly, it deserves a raise. It deserves a rest.
I use it, and then I'm
One of
like,
the two.
I don't know. It's I justify it because I'm like, well, I'm really doing my spreadsheet work during the day, and it's like not so bad with natural light. And then I come to hate it when I stream D&D every time. Man. Well, I will say the announcement for me and Sam. We're headed to St. Jude's Summit for creators. Woo. After this is done, me and Sam get to hang out in person again.
We get to hang out all the time, it seems. Which is funny considering we live so much further away geographically than the three of these fellas.
Yeah, literally,
We're seeing each other more often.
Way more often.
I blame myself and my recluse nature of I will stay in my hole and keep writing and keep editing and keep voicing. And
I blame my awful sleep schedule. I'm sleeping when everything that we could do and hang out at is closing.
And I just keep moving further north, so.
Hey, you guys it could be worse. You guys could be the Aussies. Constantly tricked into believing that I'm an Australian streamer.
Australian.
What the hell's wrong with the Aussies? What
the time zone?
Everything. What do you mean? Nah.
You bloody what, mate? You take that back. You bastard.
Oh god.
Nah,
Hey man, I was born and raised in the UK, and I'm as worse as they come.
But yeah, we're gonna go down there. It'll be super cool. You get to hear some awesome stories, and more importantly, there's a GCX stream that's going down on Wednesday to raise money. So who knows? You might even see our faces running around in the background somewhere. So
I will be on the foreground, front and center, baby. You think they wouldn't put this on camera? Don't worry, they do. See you Wednesday.
You get conscripted into work. I just
even
get
better
to
because mine is
harumph.
actually a makeup portion. So like, yes.
Oh hell yeah!
Let's go.
Obviously.
Let's go.
Sorry, that is way more confident than I actually am. Everybody in chat, Eric, and I'm like, you think?
Good, we love this.
Thank you.
I'm practically just there to be a degenerate in Memphis and show people where to go eat. That's pretty much my DMs are. How many times can I go to dinner with the amount of people that want to go eat barbecue, fried chicken, or general soul food? So I am happy to oblige.
This year, outside of the hotel lobby with beer.
It is true. It is true. I was not even a part of last year's summit, but all my friends were just right, down the road from me. So I showed up in the middle of the night with a cooler of beer and got got an Airbnb across the street and got to hang out with everybody. It was awesome. And I slept all day, so it was great. It was a very comfy Airbnb. Highly recommend it to other people. But yeah, they got us fancy this year. I have not been in this hotel since I was a little freshman baby in college on formal. Peabody.
Could be freshman.
Have you seen the ducks before? Is this going to be your first time?
Me?
Yes, seeing the ducks at Peabody.
No. I saw them with Sam one year. I'm so excited though, because it is a lot of people's first time because they haven't gotten to the Peabody.
Yeah, it's swanky. Swanky southern hotels. The cutest videos of all time are when it's like slightly snows in Memphis, like every once in a blue moon, and they take the ducks up there and they're like walking through the snow on top of the hotel. Oh, adorable.
Speaking of adorable,
yes.
I was gonna say, speaking of adorable, we are in some kind of AI demigod hellscape mind palace.
Yes.
Art station.
Early.
Is it
The adorable
is it
intelligence.
Art Station or is it Deviant Art? I can't remember. Either way. Yeah.
Only true artists are deviants. They don't get to claim that.
Picking up where we left off last session, with everybody gathering in the Amber Forge, literal family getting back together again for Ziva's birthday. many trials and tribulations, interesting gifts Zucchini Bread had. Everyone was able to celebrate in style and actually have some R&R in between some very interesting adventures. However, towards the end of the evening, you all have been pulled into some other kind of plane, an existence outside of your bodies, meeting face to face with this intelligence, part of which is inside of the gun Darkheart. We pick back up with everyone inside this kind of mental plane, connected by the lightning and electricity that brought you here. The only words that have been spoken are ones of a desire to reconnect with whatever is inside of Darkheart.
Kallisto will grab Darkheart and point it at the lumen figure in front of us. Where are we and what are you?
We are many. We are Stormforge now.
Could you elaborate?
You will make us whole again. Perception checks from everybody inside the room. Ooh, 25. 20. There is a cadence that comes from this entity that gives you the distinction or hint that it's just picking up the common language.
Okay. Like it's as if it's almost learning it on like as they're talking.
Yes.
Ooh. I'm going to turn to Loluphia and just to make sure you actually do know this. Loluphia, you know Sylvan, right? You have done your character sheet. You know Sylvan.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Kallisto also knows Sylvan. They learned it for Loluphia. They'll turn to Loluphia and in Sylvan say, they seem like some kind of intelligence, but are barely able to speak, at least common. And if this is attached to our minds, it might be learning from us. I don't know.
Interesting.
That's all just to say I don't know how much is private right now. If it links more than just seeing these things, if they're linked to what we know and understand.
As Kallisto is talking, do we notice anything odd? Because the one is speaking, does a light change or?
It just seems to pulse when it does speak. You don't see facial features. You only see this ethereal body, and there are just non-formed yet physical looking wires running through this entire thing. It's an absolute rat's nest of like a networking closet, and there are the same blank faces as far as you can see inside this chamber that wraps around you. They're just not glowing.
Could you talk to Darkheart?
I tried, didn't get any response.
I don't know how to respond to them then. It seems like we're not going to get questions answered if they're only picking up the language as we speak.
Yeah. I'll look back up at this intelligence, this being. You answered one question, how about the other? Where are we?
You guys notice one of the heads light up to your left side. There's no expression, but its lips start to move with no sound coming out of them. It looks almost as if when you've seen a video that runs in reverse from the expression, but you don't hear a sound. I will let you guys roll a perception check on this head or investigation.
Oh. Ah, bad.
God damn.
I'm glad the cat has eyes and ears.
Kallisto and Loluphia are whispering to each other. It makes sense. It's fine.
Myshkin, what would you say is the dominant language you know outside of Common? That you would say that Myshkin really knows the best. Like it maybe even be his first language. We don't know outside of Common.
That would either be Dragonborn or Infernal.
You notice this thing seems to be encoding this entire conversation in Infernal.
Interesting. The technology, obviously it's far more advanced than anything any of us have probably seen, let alone someone from outside of Stormforge, but is there anything familiar about, I guess, the sense of the machinery? Not the contraptions themselves, but I don't know, do I get...
It would be the most advanced artificing that you would have ever seen before. And the only thing that stands clear is the fact that there is some sort of sentience in this combination of man and machine, which strikes and makes you think to what Fane has talked about in this subsect of the Voshborg that seems to be working with the Silent Gear.
Okay. Myshkin will continue hanging back, knowing this is not his domain, but will keep an eye out for, I guess, any further infernal leanings, for lack of a better word.
With that nat 20, you'll also notice another one of these heads over to the right begins mirroring back this conversation in Draconic.
By the way, is this the conversation between Kallisto and Loluphia?
All words that have been spoken inside the chamber.
Interesting.
It seems
Can I-
to be
can I
recording
comment?
you.
Myshkin just looks to you, Kaivar, and looks at your book and just shakes his head. And to everyone just says, I would be careful of the words we use. They are being noted.
Because of Myshkin's nat 20, as your DM, I urge you at all cost to not reveal Kaivar's book, Kaivar's knowledge. It will drastically fast forward this campaign.
This is what is in the back of Myshkin's mind. Kaivar is an alien entity in this world. There is still much that we do not know about him. But that book and that Vox, no good can come of more knowledge of it. And you would just feel, Kaivar, just Myshkin's wrist upon your shoulder.
Yeah, Kaivar is going to take the hint and is going to sort of take a moment to make himself small. He will physically curl up a little bit more, hiding more in the cavity of his chest, the Vox, clutching the book with his other larger arms, holding that close to, and physically almost crouching behind you and behind Farouk.
Another head to the left begins the same transcribing and reverse process as it begins pulling Sylvan.
I think seeing that, at the very least recognizing the Sylvan, it was the thing that Kallisto was trying to test out, and the test came back positive. So they're going to, if they can they? I want to try something weird. I know I've been pulled out of my body, so I'm somewhere else. I mean, I'm not physically here. Can I feel my physical body? Can I feel myself back in the forge?
I'm going to let everyone make a wisdom or intelligence saving throw with advantage because Farouk has pulled you in to an out-of-body experience once before in the ceremony.
Wisdom. Fingers crossed.
Can I use a D6?
Yes, you
Yeah,
may.
we have so many D6s. Yeah.
All
We
right.
have 12 D6s, so use them.
All right. D6 inspo coming in. Ooh, 26. Okay.
I also have one of those D6s.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. 20.
It's a 20.
Mhm.
I'll use a D6, sure. Why not? We'll use them.
Myshkin should also use one.
I got 25. I'm okay.
I hope.
Oh, did you? I think I looked at somebody else's then. Oh, okay. You didn't roll them together. That's fine.
Okay, 20.
No.
Everyone has at least a 20, okay? This
Yeah,
is looking okay.
bare minimum.
The DC was 30.
It probably was. It's probably going to be in the 30s, is my guess.
If everyone is using one and not comfortable with their number, then I will use one for Farouk. What would you like Farouk to use? My score is a 24 right now.
Yeah, D6.
Yeah,
Just get a 6.
six.
You get a 30 for us,
Yeah.
forehead.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, go for it.
That's the wrong number.
Still, 28. Pretty good.
You all
Ed?
Nah, I'm good. 25.
Okay.
I gave a ring to a god. I'm feeling great.
That's
Oh.
fair, actually. That's fair.
yeah.
You're real for that.
You trick one god
That's
and you
called
think
hubris,
you
audience.
Look, listen, at least you rose to the heights of hubris after tricking a god. I rose to the heights of hubris after stealing one newspaper.
so true.
All downhill from there.
You all have a sense that you are outside of your body. It's not the first time that you've gone into a dream plane. It's not the first time that you've gone into a past memory through ritual, but there's something that feels viscerally different about this. You all have experienced psychic pain before. There's something that feels very, very real about the presence inside this room. It's not necessarily dread, but there is a weight on your chest. It's almost like a non-threatening kind of sleep paralysis that you're in at the moment. It's like looking, the best way I can put this, it's like looking at the doorway while you're frozen in space because you think you see something outside of it, but you don't know what it is yet. You can't see where your body is at. You know that you are in the Amber Forge, but it feels like part of you is here. With we'll do this. With a 28 as our high point, Farouk is going to turn and look at the rest of you. Our minds have been separated from our bodies.
How do we get back?
I don't know what this is, but this might be as real as the zucchini bread back home. Mechanically, if you are to go unconscious, you will go unconscious without your mind in the material plane. You will be missing one part of the resurrection ritual. Your body will be intact. Your soul is still on the material plane, but currently your mind is here.
Okay. Okay. I will like Kallisto's just gonna do this. He's gonna test something out. And he is going to close his eyes and is going to try to speak to Loluphia through their locket. Does it work?
I'm going to do similar to what we did the last time with Drak and Bife. I'm going to have you two both roll. In this case, because it's you, each a D8 instead of a D20. You guys need to link up to be successful. You guys will have advantage on this roll. You need to each roll the same number to make this connection.
So let's roll one first.
Okay.
On the count of 3.
Yeah.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Come on, get a 2. It's always our thing. Why?
No. Okay, we get another one. We get an advantage,
So
right?
does it count if somebody rolls and they get like a 1 now? Or a 2?
Yes, it still counts.
Okay.
So you're looking for a 1 and Kallisto's still looking for a 2. Or you could roll the same number this time.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2. No.
No.
There it is. There it is.
It's always the 2s. Every time.
Let's go.
I hate this game.
I'm just so happy. I don't like losing money to dice, and I only want to lose my mind with narrative.
The thing is, this is not even the full extent of my plan. All you hear is test, 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 test.
She's just gonna look up at you.
They see your reaction and just go, okay, let's try this. And I'm going to try and reach out to Ziva through my locket. Me, Loluphia, and Ziva all have lockets that we can communicate with telepathically. And it has a range of 3 miles. And technically,
like
the
RoBear's
locket
face while you're
is
saying this.
3 miles.
Go ahead.
I'm committing. I would try to reach out to Ziva and just say,
Let me pause before you say anything. Right
I'll let
now,
you finish, but
I'm gonna let you finish. Right now, you're on a closed circuit
okay,
between you and your partner. Invoking your locket is opening your circuit up, and you will have to defend this. It can be defended with a joint roll, but it is opening the loop up because you're going outside. Even though it's your own device, you're going outside of this realm, which will pass through the entities. So to do this, both you and Lolly are going to have to roll spell attack against the entity.
Oh, God. He's not a spellcaster.
He will mirror his own strength.
Pistol.
Yeah, so he'll be
strength? Okay.
When I
so pistol.
yeah, so it'll be a plus 13 for him and a plus. Well, actually, since we'll go off of Lolly's. It'll be a plus 12 for both of you.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Click got +1.
Are we trying to link again? No, never mind.
You're trying to reach out.
The AC. I think just trying to hit the AC or pass AC of the entity.
We don't know, huh?
Yeah. I am going to burn an advantage. Yeah.
And I apologize. I forgot. I did say the name of this entity at the end of the last episode. This is Cimmerek, the grafter of realities, is the one that you're speaking to.
Cimmerek. Okay. Wow, I'm nervous. Okay, cool. Let's do this.
That's not gonna cut it, Sam. Oh, baby.
Oh.
All right, I'm also gonna. Do we have another advantage?
Yeah, we have 7.
Okay, I'll use one.
The exact same thing. I'm going to burn a luck to reroll. When I burn a luck, do I roll with the advantage again, or is it just one?
You get to roll with the whole ass advantage.
The whole thing. Okay, cool. Oh, okay, come on. Okay, that's better. And I'll burn a D8 to add on that.
Yes.
Okay, 33. I'm sticking with that.
Yeah. I'll stick with yours too. I don't want to waste your mark.
All right, I'm gonna make this roll.
God damn it, not invisible.
This is this is stressful.
Isn't Dungeons and Dragons fun?
No.
Go ahead
Dungeons
and
Dragons us down.
reach out to Ziva.
God damn it. Quick question, who's with us? Is it just the players or are there any NPCs with us right now? I actually can't remember who.
The only person, this is your connection to Ziva, that's it.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just asking right now who's in this realm with us. Is
It's all PC.
yeah, is there any it's all PCs. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
I want to reach out
Yeah,
to Ziva.
Fane wouldn't be, the other two are not
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
Now, also remember this. When this happens, the relativity of time is frozen. So you're going to be able to relay information to them, but it'll all happen like that.
Instantly.
It'll be instantly, and whatever, when this ends, right after this message is sent, it's when time goes back on.
Oh boy. I'm going to reach out to Ziva and say, I need you to get Kelthad and Thane. If you need help, ask my mums. Quick. And that's what I'll say.
Can Ziva respond?
Yes. It seems like it is all too easy when you reach out, as if you've done this 100 times before. There's no mental blockage. It is clear you have this pathway to your son.
Okay. Ziva would respond. Yes, sir. Also, I am in bed, I promise. I will... And I'll tell them too. Where are you?
Still in the forge.
You need me to tell Mom?
Tell him we all need your help right now, Ziva. Get Kelthad. Tell Kelthad to get Thane. We are still in the forge, but you'll see when you go downstairs.
Yes, sir. And he will obey.
That'll be it. That'll be the extent of my communication.
Yeah.
Well, I certainly hope you have a better plan than that. As Lolly, Kallisto, you hear Darkheart respond back to your loop.
Is that your gun?
You respond now?
I find it more important to listen first than speak.
Oh my goodness, a bit touchy.
If you didn't
So is this like in
realize, we're kind of
mental?
in a touchy spot.
Is this psychically?
This is inside your loop.
All right, well, do you have any ideas? Do you want to be returned?
I think you have this a bit twisted. I don't intend on going anywhere, and I am not releasing part of it back, what it took from me.
I'll be honest with you, I have no intention on giving it back either. But we do need to get out of here.
Well, as I hear it now, you have a vested interest in returning back to the material plane to your family.
Obviously.
I speak because I can feel myself becoming the bargaining chip.
Then
we
give us
don't
a better
give-
bargaining chip. Because in the end, Darkheart, I'm sorry, but you're not as important as the people here from you.
If there's not a world for your family to live, what is the importance?
Does giving you back harm my family?
You should be very careful with what you're dealing with.
Then answer my questions directly. You're speaking in circles and allowing me to
I am but
determine
an
things that
ancient
might be
dragon
wrong.
contained inside this gun. I will not be spoken to as if I am a child. I may be contained now.
Calm down. Deep breaths.
I will only allow you to patronize me because of my situation.
Can you contain more of this?
I'll be dreadfully honest. This is very new to me. But we've done it once. I don't know what our limit is.
Do you think you can contain enough to, at the very least, weaken whatever hold it has on us? Even if it doesn't have to be 100%.
Everything is on the table, Kallisto. At this moment, another one of the heads begins recording what has been said in Primordial.
Welp.
Does it seem like it's recording our loop?
Only Myshkin would know this.
I speak Primordial as well.
Oh,
I
okay.
also speak Primordial.
So do I.
That's how we were best friends with Yancy Ben, baby. That's our guy.
All of this loop and the mental conversation, it goes down at like the same time. So we've been frozen in that moment since basically Myshkin had his last thoughts. So it seems to have only been recording what was said aloud.
It's an out loud. Okay, cool. Loluphia, how are you feeling? This could come to blows. Or rather, this will come to blows if we go this route.
Is there another route?
I would hope so, but this is all I can think of.
I can't think of anything else.
I'm
And I
not
would
in
like
this.
to speak to our friends, but I cannot right now because everything is being recorded.
Kaivar, your question, are you in this loop?
Oh no, I'm not in this loop. I'm very well aware of that. I was hoping that I could determine how similar this is to one of my own mind links, considering you talked about a degree of psychic pain.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and make your spell attack.
Nice.
30. It's as if you took the commune of individuals that it took to lift the recycling center and you amplified it on the sense of a full Colosseum. It's that weight of minds behind that presence. It's a very, very intense source.
Understanding some more about the way this works, comparing it especially to the to the circle of Voshborg peers that lifted the center. Can I determine if there is any weak point that can be pressured to break the mind link? Based on what mine operate like, which needless to say is very much potentially apples to oranges, it's something that can be ended by the one who is in control or lasts for a certain degree of time. That said,
I
these
will
are
let you
AI.
roll advantage to fish for a nat 20.
Okay.
Just roll a d20 at advantage.
All right, let's give this a go. Damn. No 20s there. 15, 16. God, should I lucky this? I should lucky this.
Do you want it? We have a good amount of luck.
Yeah.
Okay, not really. We have 3 luck.
Lucky's scary.
Yeah, but it is an advantage roll, so
Okay.
You can use it. We have 3 lucks left.
yeah, sod it. I'll give it a go. If
Okay.
we can find a way to get out, that's relatively important. Okay, roll that hard 6, Adama. Show me that maneuver. No, okay, well, hey, at least it is advantage.
Yeah.
It is like opening up a physically massive tome and starting at page 1. You just can't seem to find the weak point quick enough. You don't have the bandwidth or the time currently to find it. It's just meaninglessly sorting through. Back within.
I don't know, find a thing. It's the right idea. Okay.
In the physical. We have stated that we wish to become one again. Bits and pieces of the speech seem to be rolling like a slot machine. You're able to understand, but it takes a second as the words are coming out in different languages, a piece at a time between what you know.
How long has passed? Because I know you said you paused. It's been like, what, a minute at most? Maybe less?
Yeah, it's only really been, a minute or two that you guys have actually been here.
I would like to use an ability I have as I've been watching this thing. I would like to know my enemy. Starting at 7th level, if you spend at least 1 minute observing or interacting with another creature outside of combat, you can learn certain information about its capabilities compared to your own. I get to choose, I think 2? Yeah, 2 of the following characteristics. Okay, so I would like to know, as I watch this, its armor class. And you just tell me, you don't tell me the actual number, just tell me if it's higher than mine, higher or lower than mine. Its armor class, and its the only thing useful is probably its constitution score.
I'm going to give you the 2 most relevant things.
Okay.
Its AC is higher than yours.
Okay.
But seems like it is aging or growing as time goes on.
Interesting. Okay.
You're much closer in almost everything when you first started observing than now. You can tell it is learning and becoming stronger by the second. However, its intelligence is a 30.
Okay. Damn. Okay. Fuck. Yeah, I can't think of any other thing but to attack. Fuck. Damn. Yeah, I'm gonna
Another one of the heads comes online for Dwarvish.
God damn it, this is tough. Yeah, I'm going to shoot one of the heads with Dark Heart.
I love the lack of communication.
Before
We're like,
before you shoot, is there anyone else that wants to have an interaction? Because they haven't.
Yeah, this is only 1 second. Yeah.
The heads. This is such an alien and cosmic thing, but do they seem like extensions of this large mass of energy in front of us, or do they appear to be separate entities communing, or is it...
They definitely look all similar, but they are speaking differently. They are disembodied, only their heads are floating within the mass of wires. Whereas this thing is from the torso up, or Cymric is from the torso up.
Okay. And do they appear to be operating independently of Cymric?
You don't really know.
Yeah.
But considering the fact that this entire room is wired and its presence it is stated that it wants to become one again with whatever it's missing inside of Darkheart, you would assume that these are all specifically linked. Whether they are like heads on a Hydra or disembodied pieces of Cymric, it is semantics.
Okay. Myshkin waits.
I think with you clutching Kaivar's shoulder briefly, Kaivar, who has now secured the book close to his chest, secured the Vox close to his chest, he is just going to reach out a hand and grab your hand, Myshkin, if it is free.
It is.
You can feel very clearly there is a perceptible tremble in Kaivar's chitin. He is visibly afraid in the same manner that I think you've seen him be afraid before. In the face of authority, something is still stirring. Something that speaks of fear.
Okay.
As you ready your hand to take aim, Kallisto, Cymric begins to reach out one last time. Maybe I should put this into terms that you can understand. As it switches to Dwarvish. I wish to be reunited with my family. As it speaks clearly for the first time. One last head to the right begins transcoding Elvish. You have your hand on the pistol. What do you do?
Okay.
And by the way, this is the first time it speaks fluently and clear.
Yeah. I think I'll just say out loud. It's getting stronger and smarter every passing second. We need to do something now. And this is all I have. And I'm going to look up at it and say, let's see if we can get you reunited then. And I'm going to fire at one of the heads.
Let's go. All
I
right.
go for the dwarvish one, the one that's speaking dwarvish.
All right. Give me 1 second here, and I will set these up for you so you have something to target.
Do we still have this open loop with Darkheart?
Oh, yeah.
Before you shoot, and before I guess you say something, Lily is going to speak to Darkheart that you could hear, Kallisto. So with each of these heads transcribing a language, which one do you know?
Oh, is this to me or is it to Darkheart?
To Darkheart.
Ancient. It obviously knows Draconic. It would know Sylvan. I think it would probably know everything. Primordial would be a toss-up, but it's ancient, so it's probably had plenty of time to gather most. It certainly knows Infernal. So your question is, what languages does it understand?
Mm-hmm. Since it seems like, because it came from one of these heads, right? Because whenever we looked in, one of them was dim. Where it left the scar of where he came from. Or was that something else?
No, I remember that.
Yeah.
Now I'm confused.
Whenever we first got Darkheart and we saw inside of it that one of these heads was missing, and it was Darkheart's spot. So she's inquiring, since each of things heads is transcribing a specific language, which one is it that he knows?
Darkheart isn't from here. Darkheart is a dragon. When we were fighting that brain thing, it had one of these heads in it, and Darkheart basically consumed it.
Oh, okay.
So Darkheart itself isn't from here, but it has a piece
Darkheart was an ancient dragon that got consumed by those machines whenever it hit. Basically, he got Final Fantasy meteored whenever that came down, and it destroyed him, and he was consumed by the first machines that were there. So it entrapped his, it consumed his dragon heart and wrapped it up inside that gun. So inside of it is Darkheart. There is his heart that is combined with machine inside that gun, and there is also one of these heads in there as well. There was an entity that was reaching out to the crash site, and Darkheart siphoned that entity in with him. So he is blaming the machine.
That's what threw me off. I thought they were the same thing.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, they are very separate. And its revenge is based off of the fact that it knows that this entity, Cimmerak, is responsible. That's how you guys got the first link and were able to see into this room way back then, was because he has a piece of the connection.
Carry on.
I can understand it all.
I am going to steady my aim and fire at the dwarf, the one that was speaking dwarvish, once you have that set. And I'll make it I was going to make it a normal shot, just to gauge what the AC is.
Go for it.
So it's the one up here, right? Top right?
That is the elvish one. But
okay.
Just to be clear with all of these, this is the dwarvish.
Okay.
They're all the same thing.
Okay.
they're extensions of Cimerac. Some mechanically they don't operate any different.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to make sure he's the door for him because he's taking this personal. Yeah, they're gonna fire with dark card. There you go. That was not good. I'm going to I'll use a D because this is a surprise round, so I won't be able to attack twice. I'll use a D8. Did I use D8? No, that was for the
Yeah,
sync
you
roll.
used a D6 earlier. You got D8s
Yeah.
and 10s.
Oh. Okay, 26.
26 will hit.
Perfect.
God,
That was not a good roll. And then sneak attack. Because I definitely. Well, I'd hope I'd surprise them. 10. Okay, so 40 points of damage, and I will. Why not? I'll put a maneuver die into this as I make it a. Well, not a maneuver. Yeah, maneuver die into this. I'll make it a menacing attack. So I have to make a wisdom saving throw, DC 17. And I put another D8 of damage into this.
Ooh, max though. Hell yeah.
48 points of damage.
Right. Let's take a look at this.
Nervous.
This is the damage from the piercing necrotic.
Oh.
Oh. Oh.
And have we flavored sneak attack has always been your piercing, correct?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. Oh, that needs. Sorry. $14 points of damage. As when you hit this head, it like glitches out for a second and seems to like scramble for just a second.
Interesting. Okay.
Why?
I don't think. Yeah.
Why do you choose to harm us? As it reverts back to a very cerebral, slow, broken common.
Seeing that reverting. Can I shoot again?
Yeah.
And I think I will try. Especially after seeing how little damage it did, I want to try making this a sharpshooter attack. And I'll use Squire of Somnia to give myself advantage on that.
Go for it.
And can you give me sharpshooter? I don't think I can. Can I do that? Oh, I can. I still have it.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay. $24.
Bloody hell.
And then I'll add precision. I'll use my maneuver die and add precision attack to roll a d8 to add on to that to make sure it hits. Okay, so 27 to hit.
27 hits.
And that will deal.
Ooh.
A much better roll. Plus So 60 points of damage as a fire. A second shot, still at the dwarven head.
21 points of piercing, 31 necrotic. What's the first D8?
The first D8, ignore that. That was precision attack. Just made it bumped up to
Got you.
roll.
And
the
the
second
8
D8 was damage now.
The 8 is
Piercing
fire,
damage.
you said?
No, piercing.
Okay, piercing. Got it.
Okay.
As you strike the dwarvish head again, it glitches again. It comes back and it continues to transcribe the new words that have been spoken. Why do you choose violence in the face of everything? Do you not understand what we are, what we represent, what we will become? As it finishes the sentence in comment.
I don't think we do.
The age of man is coming to an end. Just as quickly as man left land to the sky, Stormforge is here to evolve for a second time. Your bodies are weak, frail with the existence of your biological mana. We are all to ascend together as one.
Anyone else want to speak to it?
Myshkin is just standing there looking at this creature, and much of what it espouses lines up with what he has heard of the silent gear. There is much about this room he does not understand or recognize, but he has heard these values. This desire to break free of flesh, to break free of all that is weak. And I know a lot of the questions I'm asking are fairly abstract. Was this thing a person once, or is it purely artificial?
With that nat 20 earlier, it seems to be the collective consciousness of many. Since you're sniffing down the right track, Myshkin, I want you to make an intelligence ability check with advantage.
As you start asking those questions, you feel a physical squeeze in that hand that Kaivar is holding, and a jolt of sort of psychic momentum flowing from one arm into another, and I'm going to give you guidance.
Love that.
Okay.
Fife, go ahead and give yourself a inspiration.
Oh, Sure.
Or RPing out guidance.
Hey.
And so what do I plus, sorry, to
That's a
guidance?
That's a 1d4.
1d4, lovely. Boop.
Hey, there you go.
So 23.
23. As you recant in your mind that the silent gear has been trying to ascend from the human body since its beginnings. The Voshborg being almost the other side of the coin, trying to extend how long the human body can live. You understand that there is common ground of the enemy here. That whoever is working on this have the same goal and have realized they have the same goal of separating themselves and trying to make an extension. With your infernal knowledge, you come to the epiphany that you're watching digital lichdom.
Literally about to ask if it's like lich.
But collective.
It is void of care for divination, for being referred to as godlike. It is the collective consciousness of who ever is in Stormforge at the moment. You can make the assumption that what is happening here with all of you has been happening on a grander scale.
So, you say your name is Simrak.
Yes. It is our chosen name.
By our. Chosen by. The Silent Gear or by the Voshborg?
By
gets
all of
joy?
us.
Sounds cozy. So everyone gets a free pass?
We do not understand.
Well, the idea must have stemmed from one party more than another. I just wonder who gets final say over the direction of this god.
For the first time, you see a visage of actual mouth on the front of the largest entity, and its lips are de facto tracing back the common that you spoke. As you can see, it's trying to process the concepts within the language that you just spoke.
I understand the nuances must be confusing for you.
Quite the contrary. We are all very much appreciative of your nuance. As those lips disappear and transcend into it.
So are you looking to understand or transcend? Because this all seems a little childish, don't you think? Learning.
In human terms, one cannot learn before they are a child. You have terms of endearment as an example. You must learn to walk before you run.
It is hard to walk without legs.
It jettisons itself up out of its spot to show that it is a complete form.
So you feel pride?
We can choose to be what we want. As it slowly sinks back into its spot where it's at.
I didn't mean to touch a nerve. Sorry, a wire.
All of the heads are moving in rapid speed.
Do you have memories?
We do. This is why we wish to become whole again. You wish to return to your loved ones, to become whole, don't you? Switches back to common.
If you do remember, you'll remember that you took that opportunity from me a very long time ago. In snow and in fire. Do you remember that?
That was before us.
You are more enlightened now, then, I suppose.
And it doesn't speak, but your mechanical arm spells out the message, yes, across it in its circuits and diodes.
You see, in pain, Myshkin is barely blinking back tears as these fronds just reform through his skin. And I think having seen Infernal being bandied about, Myshkin is going to rest the arm against the blade of second chances.
Just one side note. You have always been in control in your agency of this machine. If you're wondering if Simrak has been in your mind at all times, That is not the case. You've had your own agency since you took control during that time after you were pulled into that machine. It has been you stopping it from doing anything else inside of your body. It's been complete of your agency. Just want to make sure it was clear that you haven't been like, I've been a leaky sieve for this thing that long, and you're just now telling me that is not the case.
Cool. Lovely. Myshkin, having tested as much as he wants to, just steps back a little bit and...
I will stop prying now.
Is there anything mechanical you wish to do with this blade at the moment other than rest it there?
I want to see if it has any reaction to being next to something so divine in nature. I want to see if that affects the mechanics that are now acting up. I want to see how affected this thing can be by the divine, if indeed there is anything infernal about it.
You see the diodes physically shut off, and where it says yes, it just blanks out. It's almost like a router reset, just a circuit, and temporarily you do lose control of the hand for a second as it just shuts and it locks up and then kind of restarts.
Myshkin just makes a mental note of this. Won't do anything, but that is very useful to know.
Roll a perception check with advantage.
Do I notice that, considering I'm grabbing one of the arms, do I notice A, that it's touched the blade, and B, that it is reset?
Yes. Would you like to roll a perception check?
I will go ahead and do that too, if that's all right.
Okay.
Side note, how do I roll with advantage?
Left shift.
Yeah. Hold left shift
and
and
click.
Yeah, I think click what you
okay.
want to roll.
Lovely. Okay.
Kyvar, you can roll with advantage as well.
Oh, neat. Okay. Also, if you have a roll...
Good God, they're nat 20s.
Oh, yeah. Okay, here we go.
It is like cutting out one or two frames out of 240. It's that hard and that precise. But Kyvar, you see Cymric viscerally pull back and hold its hand to its chest. And even though you can't see its eyes or its face, you feel and see all the emotions that you've studied from human nature. This thing pull back and withdraw with fear.
Myshkin, you're gonna feel psychic energy flow down your arm as Kyvar sends a message to you, attempting to keep it as private as possible. Give me the sword. Yes.
Myshkin is just going to reach down, and activating his mage hand, just pulls it out, and just rather reverently hands it across to you.
Understanding that there is a tangible weakness that is developed from this sword, seeing the kind of link we're in, Kyvar is going to try and, perhaps metaphorically, perhaps literally, cut a hole in the floor so that we can break out using the sword.
You can certainly try.
Here we go.
Go ahead and make your spell attack.
Okay. We got an advantage in the hand?
we got seven advantages. Go ahead and use one.
I'll roll this with advantage, and well, depending on what happens, I may roll a d10 as well, because yeah, this is gonna get serious.
Yeah, we got 8 d10s.
Okay, let's do this. Oh, so close.
My screen they rocked under 20. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, here comes a d10.
Okay.
$29. Oh my god.
Oh.
I want you to put that D10 back in the stack.
Okay. Yep, put it back.
Kyvar, have you handled this blade before?
No, this is the first time.
I need everyone to take their headset off except for Bife.
Oh my god.
I'll give the thumbs up.
Oh, here we go.
Bife, I'm going to ask you one question.
Okay.
And based off of this question, I want you to choose your words precisely.
Mm-hmm. All right.
At this moment, what is Kyvar's greatest intention? I want you to hold that.
Context and clarity, I hope, is lended a little by this explanation.
No,
Oh, okay. Oh,
it is precisely what I said.
You want to repeat that? What'd you say?
Oh.
Whenever you are ready, Kyvar.
For everyone to... Oh, yep.
I will now preface as you begin. Kyvar's current greatest intention is
for everyone to retain their individuality instead of being trapped in the life that he knew, or a life similar to the one that he knew, as a collective. In a single sentence, for everyone to retain who they are.
with divine properties of this blade and your intention, Kyvar. You go to strike at the wires that are below you to try to carve your way out of this reality. As you swing, you open up one of many of the wires that are there. No! No! We aren't done yet! We aren't done yet! D20 roll off. Kaivar.
Oh, God.
Nothing can be added to this, right?
Nothing can be added to this. I will make the first roll for Simrak.
Okay.
Get in that one.
That'd be great. Okay.
Come on, Pipe, you got this.
Come on. Roll that hard 6.
That's fine, you still win!
Barely. Oh my god. Barely.
Kaivar looks up as he is carving, and you all hear the psychic emanation, even though it is aimed at Cimric. No. But I am.
The same weight that was on your chest visibly goes out like a thunder wave within this chamber. You can see your book visibly forms this protective shell around it. You feel all of yourselves emboldened as your mind gets stronger. There's no more feeling of poking or prying inside there. You are all resistant to psychic damage.
Thank you.
And you see all of the heads shut down and stop and then tilt forward. Kallisto.
Yes.
At first you think it's your arm, as you felt it before, because everything is hot to the touch. But you see Darkheart spinning on its own as its chamber cracks open almost like a revolver. And you see two glowing orbs that float up in front of Cimric. One very celestial and astral that looks like Cimric. The other that darkish void purple. And it seems to, like, they spin and spiral up almost like a piece of DNA that they've been woven into. And you don't hear it, but you feel it. This almost gratitude as you see those two orbs begin to change, as one begins to float towards, and Cimric has his hands out and it's floating towards him. And it starts to become one of the heads again. You see the other orb expand into this almost holographic version of this giant void dragon. And just before this head is able to merge in towards Simrak, you see that void dragon snatch its maws and rip and viscerally tear this energy apart. And you all open your eyes. Back into darkness. And
Not
then
the Amber Forge.
slowly light returns. And you're back in the Amber Forge.
Okay. It's like, no, please.
Oh, shit. My pants need to change their pants.
The first thing that you hear is boom, 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 boom. Ziva running down those steps.
That's how much of a standstill time was.
Yes.
He's coming down, and you all can hear grandmas as he is trying to get his grandmother's attentions. Probably been seeing, I think, because it was Lolly and Myshkin who were at like the front door area, looking out the window when it happened, and he would come down and be like, "Wait, Mom, where's Dad? Where is Kallisto? I don't know."
The power goes out in Stormforge for the first time since you all were children. You wait there, you wait. Backup generators on backup generators have always fired. For you all have grown up in the late stages of the artificing of this city. So much so, Ziva has never known what it's like to go get the candles. This would be his first experience. The only thing that is lit is the old backups on the forge. From a long time ago. And that is the only thing glowing inside the original, very tungsten Amber Forge.
Okay, good. He doesn't trip.
My God.
He was right about to take that last step, but yeah. I think specifically Ziva would get quiet, not knowing what to do, never experiencing this. Like, I don't know. Could I? Actually, no. Could Ziva use his dancing lights?
Absolutely.
Incredibly practical. Hell yeah.
He would, like, after a moment's pause, you would just start to see his kitsune face illuminate with these little orbs that he's brought out. Ziva, you're a genius. And Lolly would go to grab his hand just to have him in her proximity while it's dark. Where is everybody else at? I know Myshkin's right there.
Yeah, I'm probably in the forge proper, and I think I've definitely paused as well, waiting for the lights to come back on and seeing that they don't. Only the ancient, the old backup generators that they have. They will I think, rush over to Ziva and just say, "Thank you. Sorry."
Well, I didn't do anything. I just got out of bed.
No, you acted as quickly as possible. Honestly, that's all I needed at the time. You called my parents already?
I was screaming for them, just as you.
Okay. No, and they're gonna rush upstairs to find their parents, probably in their room, I imagine, but just about getting up at the sound of Ziva's voice. And Kallisto go to Ifrit and say, "I don't have really anything to. It's gonna be a lot. Stormforge is down, and we don't know for how long, and we might be involved somehow. Do you know what we can do or what to do, who to speak to about this? This hasn't happened since I was like 6, so I don't know." And RoBear, you tell me what is the norm for this, because I don't know, and I imagine
would we as
they've
wardens
been
be
around.
prepared for it?
Yeah, that's a good question. Like, would we be prepared? Would we
Have
know
we
about
been
stuff like
prepped
this?
about? It's not ever gonna happen, but just in case.
It's been handled by what I guess you could call are the cloud mines for so long that there isn't a city protocol to go and, like the old times, she would explain that it would be like it was community based, like on the grid, similar to where we are today, where we would invoke going down to wherever the local, where the most local power station would be, and to bring it all back up one by one. And that there were keepers of this at one point in time, but it hasn't been done in so long.
I guess my other question is, and this is because I think Kallisto would know this, but this is a Drak question, because I think this is why I'm moving with such urgency. Stormforge doesn't need power to stay afloat, does it? It's magically afloat, not.
I don't like that question.
I was going to say, this kind of feels like a very important question.
Yeah.
You all got your feather fall. It's fine.
Yes. You're indeed correct. If all power is out right now, Stormforge is at risk. You don't know.
Urgency makes sense.
You have no idea what these backups would be, as these backups may have never have been enacted.
I made it of gum and toothpicks.
I hope not. Oh god.
Lolly,
Yeah.
I want you to roll a perception check due to the weather. So do this with advantage.
Okay.
Nice. 69.
Yeah, 69. So that counts for something, right?
There is something happening that doesn't feel natural.
Does it feel similar to how it did with Yancy Ben?
Yes. But not in a, you don't feel any sense of dread.
Okay.
It would be enough cause for you to go outside.
I think she would. Leaving Ziva inside. Stay here.
Kallisto will take Ziva's hand.
And she would go outside. Does it feel any different than it did inside of a building? Like as it.
Oh,
as the
yes,
rain
there
hits
is
her
this.
skin?
There is a pressure.
Like a humidity?
not so much a humidity, but like a barometric pressure, ears kind of popping.
Oh, okay. Owie.
You,
So as if they're losing.
You look out. One, you see Farouk is already inside the road looking up, and his eyes are embered over. You do not see his pupils, and he's just looking up at the top of Stormforge.
She would also look up.
You can see from all of these houses of divination that litter the top of Stormforge, there is this glow. And you can see up above, there are thousands of air elementals that are tethering Stormforge in place. As for the first time in hundreds of years, the houses of divination are keeping Stormforge afloat.
Oh, that changes so much, though. The whole city that's like, magic ain't shit. Science is where it's at. Now,
This is that-
saved by divination.
This is like first contact kind of moment, or you could put it in the wizarding world, the revelation of magic into the public eye. This is a public scene of magic and divination that everyone in the city will see.
Does it? So we're not losing.
Altitude.
what's the word? Thank you.
We're
So
not.
we've stopped.
We're held in place here.
Where are all of those? Were they kinkus?
Oh, the Aarakocra?
Oh yeah, the Aarakocras.
Oh yeah, they're all. Remember, they have their sky, like tree nests that are built up above. They are 100% helping inside of this process. There wouldn't be nearly enough air elementals if they were not here.
I'm assuming this is much too large for her. Storm-wise, for her to try, or weather-wise.
Nothing is out of your scope.
Thank you. Stop. Then that would be her initial instinct, is
Go.
to try to control this weather.
Go ahead and roll with advantage. Your spell attack.
Please, sir, be good to me.
That's
good.
Get you some.
That's exciting.
Loluphia.
Watching Farouk's eyes look up and seeing those that she is similar to in a place where she hasn't been as accepted, but more so utilized for her innate ability and now relied upon to this point. But regardless of the city itself, this is her family that's in danger. And so with all of you on the inside, if you did step outside, she would put a hand up and be like, go back in. However, you could see her arms just moving in such an elegance with the wind. It's almost as if the rain around it is like a sparkle with the way that it's hitting. As she tries to control this weather. What could she do in regards to that?
While everything is tethered in place, I want you to describe controlling the lightning and the thunder that is within the cloud mines. And I want you to describe restarting the power of Stormforge.
With her movements and the body language that is starting to get more jagged, as if it is similar to lightning strikes in the places that they are. Or imagine an orchestra and you've had the maestro, the way that they're moving their hands in the perfect symphony. And lightning, as it would strike or it would build, I think she pulls it. You could see flashes of light left and right coming toward her, and she's going to absorb them into her hands, and they just disappear, and there's no singeing. There's just clouds, and these clouds just keep covering as if almost to blanket this electricity and allow it to dissipate. Like whenever you lick your finger and put a candle out, it's similar to that aspect. And with this building and building of more and more of this electrical charge, she would take flight. And with this flight, almost a full ignite of her body. You could see the outline of it, like she's darkened and the outline is glowing. It's striking as this lightning then projectiles almost across these clouds and weaving inside them and out of them amongst one another like a chain of lightning as it re-energizes Stormforge.
And it's almost like a small earthquake that reverberates through the city as the amount of energy that Loluphia puts back into the system kind of overcharges things for a second and then pulls it back just at the precise moment. Kallisto, you look down at the emptiness of what was Darkheart. Now no longer a soul that has been trapped or a part of Cimric's consciousness. It seems to catch some of this overcharge and collapses and separates over, and you see there is a single thunderhead of Loluphia's creation inside of that gun now.
Interesting. I think all Kallisto will do, I don't think he'll say anything, is just kind of twirl the gun in their hand and test a weight. And just go, yeah, no, I think I prefer this before holstering it.
It now reverberates with the same kind of energy that you get when you're with your partner. Even if you're away in a physical distance, there is a piece of Loluphia that is there with this gun. More than even a picture in a locket or a ring, it has presence. It's not a missing piece from her. It is if she's handed an extra part of her that is always with you. There is a comfortability that you are not even alone when you have this thing holstered.
He just smiles to himself and I think squeezes Ziva's hand gently.
He's looking stunned up at this guy. She's like, Mom is so cool.
And you can be like that if you start studying more. By the way, you have school tomorrow, so...
There's something about being on your son's ass, even after you come out of this incredible odds and situation, that makes you so cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, remember being a parent is a 24-hour career.
Exactly.
For the rest of your life. I think after a moment, seeing that everything is settled and the weather is a normal feeling of rain, and hopefully at this point, seeing a lot of the Air Genasi realize that their work it's done, they did well, and could return to where they need to be, she would return to the ground herself. Little exhausted. It has exerted every ounce of her. And very much being like a wet dog. Walks into the house, I think, in the door frame, and like puts her arm on the door frame. All right, it's done. Whew.
Loluphia, can you dry your mum up? I can't.
As you say this, just Loluphia, you would feel a weight on your shoulders as just draped around you, you see Myshkin has just placed his purple scarf over you.
That's so
He
nice.
just nods. He just nods at you.
Lolly would nod back and kind of pull it close and probably wipes them off of her face. Sorry, she's got rain everywhere.
Myshkin just kind of like nods. And understandable.
Sorry, thank you. Aww. But then I think Ziva would definitely press a digitation and just dry her off.
Kallisto saw how excited he was to have an excuse to use dancing lights. I was like, okay, here's another chance for you to use some magic.
And she is dry. And taking a beat to realize that this is now gone. After she just wiped her face with her scarf, she would take it off of her shoulders, and I can clean it first. As she's handing it back.
And Myshkin just like nods it across to Ziva and
yes,
go
and
on.
he would do it again. Well, at least we know how he knows how to do laundry. And she would give it back. Thank you.
That was impressive. Well
I
done.
don't ever want to do it again.
Hopefully we will not be placed in such a position.
Yeah.
How is everyone?
How are Farouk
Tired.
and Kuiper looking too?
I was gonna ask, does Kaiva have the blade, or is it back in Myshkin's scabbard pocket? I don't know, on his person.
Myshkin physically has the blade.
Kaiva was heading towards the door when the lightning struck, the door that has been magically added to the Amber Forge, and has done a quiet about turn and is just sat there looking in awe at the blade.
Myshkin, I think.
Yeah.
You go.
Nah, it's all good.
I was just going to say, I think Myshkin probably notices this, and It's just going to sidle on over and sit down next to you.
How did it feel?
It felt, right, somehow. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
I'm glad that blade found its way to you. Yes. It makes sense. Yes. It is where they were needed.
It explains also why you were able to use it.
And Myshkin is just going to reach across and just place his hand upon your back.
Kaiva is this one's brother. Yes.
Yes. You get a nod, an affirmation. And you also then notice a stare downwards toward the book. May I, try something? Yes? No? With, and Kaivar is pointing again at the sword very briefly.
Whatever Kaiva needs. This one will do.
Kaivar is going to spread the book out on the floor of the Amber Forge to an open page. Nothing to the left of it, nothing to the right, far into the back of the book. Kaivar will take the sword, but ask you to also hold it. And will very gently touch the flat edge of the blade down to the book, with your hand still holding. Almost as though we're pressing the sword in like a giant bookmark into the center of this page. Just so we can see what comes up. This is a story worth remembering. Yes? Of second chances, of family, of who we are. Yes.
Yes.
And I would say, as Myshkin's hand rests on the page, you see the page begin to shred and tear, but neatly, like a child cutting out shapes from a page. And playing out almost like puppet theatre. With this strange ghostly light illuminating these silhouettes that move. You would see a dragonborn. Scarf trailing behind her. Snow. Small particles of paper fly all about her. she rides on a sled, drawn by a large, saber-toothed creature riding through the blizzard. This paper figure stops and she turns about. There's a cry. A baby. A small cub with backwards hands in the middle of a large open crater, paper fire just flickering all about. This paper dragon kneels down and picks up this child, this horned tiger-like cub, and she wraps it up in a purple scarf, keeping it from the cold, and she rides home. A town forms out of paper, these paper buildings all about, and she opens the door, and she is met with another. Tall, beautiful, dragonborn. And as though in seconds, but also years, you see this small baby begin to walk. It folds outwards and upwards, becomes a child. It tries to learn magic, folds upwards and outwards. It learns fear. You see these two paper dragons either side of this paper child. You see them point at his horns and his hands, and they hold him. You see paper figures outside jeering, superstitious and scared. In time, the small paper tiger grows larger. Not by much. And then the light goes out. Something unseen seems to block out the page, and suddenly you see the paper buildings once more, fire flickering. Yet this fire is not made from paper, it is very real, it is burning, it is singeing the pages. You see figures descending from on high, winged figures, mechanical, clawed talent flying down. You see small paper figures cut down into ribbons, these particles of paper floating away into the fire. And you see one of the paper figures turn to the other, and she holds her close, and she holds their child close, and she reaches and undoes a small paper necklace and places it around her wife's head, and she kisses her, and she disappears into the flames. And Myshkin and his mother run. They run away from home, they run into the snow, they run into the trees that fly by, these twisted columns. They are not alone. They are being followed as trees just fall down, cut apart by wings as these creatures descend down upon them, these mechanical monstrosities. And this paper dragon, she tells Myshkin to run. And she is cut down. And Myshkin runs forward, he tries to help her, and the wings lash out, and almost as though they were not there, these paper hands fly up into the air, and they fall down, mingling with the snow. A blast of green energy. And these paper figures singe into nothingness. Myshkin looks at this paper figure on the ground. Ink is pouring out of her stomach and onto the page, out and out and out. This same ink pouring from his wrists. She reaches out. She places her hands on his wrists. The ink stops. Hers does not. And looping 2 necklaces around his neck. She tells him it's going to be okay. And he's left alone. The page remains blank, save for a small pool of ink in its center, like blood upon snow. Myshkin just looks to you, Kai. Kaiva?
5. I think you're muted.
I am indeed. You see Kaivar's body language. It is somewhat dejected. It is sympathetic. His antennas are lowered. His eyes are wide. And you hear a psychic reply. Myshkin, I am so sorry. Yes. But I think this is why the blade came to you, yes? Because what is a second chance, if not a moment to change from the past to a better future, yes?
Myshkin looks up at you. And then over towards the family, stood in the kitchen of the Amber Forge.
I didn't need the blade to show me that. I have been alone for a very long time. And I never thought I would find people who who would simply love me. Kaiva.
Realizing that the moments like this tend to follow or be followed by gestures of sympathy, you see Kaivar put one of his small hands on your arm and sort of attempt at a comforting motion.
Myshkin immediately just pulls you in for a hug.
you get a moment of, and then Kaivar pulls back in and is like, yes, and then hug properly.
Kaivar, the first thing that you notice in this embrace is that his arm contains no metal. And you feel all 5 digits on your back in correct and humanoid posture. Whenever you let go of this embrace, Myshkin, this weight that you've been carrying, it's gone. You look down and there are your hands. Just the way they would have been from childhood if you'd grown up and never lost them. Hand wraps are still there. But your Rakshasa nature is gone. And that blade just hums and reverberates where you both can feel it. As when you share this moment with Kaivar, the blade lifts your infernal nature and takes it off of your chest. It is up to you in this moment how you choose to represent yourself. As it's a second chance at you living your life on your own terms as you share this moment with Kaivar. Things can convert back to how they've always been. They can feel fresh and anew. Or they can be the same thing. The choice is yours. But for a moment and a flash, with confiding this, you have a choice.
I think there is a moment where Myshkin's heart just leaps. You can see this bewildered expression as he's looking down at these hands, these, in his mind, perfect hands. He touches your back, like he can feel it. He can feel. And then he remembers. He remembers the conversation that his mother's had with him when he was only young, about his horns and his hands. People will laugh, and people will jeer, and people will be afraid. But that is only because they are scared of what is different. You must find those who are not scared. Who see you just as we do. And I think with this in mind, Myshkin embraces what has come before and what he has found. And looking at his hands, he realizes that he is missing his tether. The hands shrink back once more, and you see the necklaces around his neck just glow green. But they grow brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter, and you can see these tendrils of green just emanating from his wrists as no longer ephemeral, no longer liminal, these scaled hands, these green scaled hands, translucent, just form at the end of his hands. Whereas before, connected to his arms by mere tendrils, you see that they take root in his wrists. These ghostly facsimiles of his mother's hands, now stronger, more vibrant, more vivid than ever before. You can see that whereas once you could make out the impression of scales, now you can see every single pattern. You can see that each are distinct on either hand. And as this happens, you see also almost like a tree in time lapse, just coming out of his head, just these horns just slowly forming and moving up, curling ever so slightly as they just protrude out of his head, and they come up almost like the antlers of a stag, just out, pointing, devilish, but perfect. Myshkin doesn't know where he comes from, and but he knows it is a part of him, just as his mother's are. And you see ever so slightly between those horns just the brief flicker of flame like an orb before that goes out. And you see this figure sat there, green eyes matching his perfectly now permanent green ghostly hands. It didn't need fixing. He just presses one of these hands against you, Kaivar, and where before this mage hand would have felt nothing, he feels warmth, sensation. He feels the hard chitin of your outer shell, and reaching down towards a nearby carpet, runs his hands through the fibers, and then through his own fur, and then up to his horns, and he reaches and he's testing fabrics, and he reaches out and he touches the forge, and you just, it's hot. And he's just reaching about, and you just see him just touching as much as he can. And think you would watch Kaiva as the page in your book, the ink blot begins to fade. And the book gets a second chance at writing a new story as you just see slowly forming, in those same paper doll-like way, the impression of 5 figures. Just all silhouetted and perfect. A small bug-like creature, a large orcish Ifrit-esque, far bigger than everyone else, just looming above. You can see a couple wings sprouting luminescent from one, and the other strong and courageous and perfect. And in amongst them, a horned figure. And looming over all of this, like the sky, you swear you see the impression of a face in the stars. The page is written. And there it will stay.
As you start to refamiliarize yourself with sensations not felt in years, decades, who knows, Kaivar stares on with nothing but admiration. There was momentary surprise at the regrowing of the horns, but not the kind of surprise that brings alarm. He stands back and admires. Slowly, he looks back down to the page and sees it form, as you have. There is one small corner of the page that is still slightly torn on the right side of the book, and of its own accord, not like the grafting tear that you would have if you tore it with your hands, but more like the precise cut of someone folding a piece of paper. It separates and starts changing. It's almost like something is creating origami right before Kaivar's eyes. It splits to 3. 3 pieces of paper that start to fly. One of them is clearly avian, but 2 of them seem to be more draconic. And they flutter to the edge of a windowsill in the Amber Forge. And momentary sit. It's almost as though it's a mix of origami and kintsugi. You can see the delicate lines of filigreed gold on the edges of every crease that is made. And you can see all 3 figures staring back for just a moment before they take flight, circling around your head a few times, and then out into the world.
As they fly out the window into the storm, you kind of get that camera bird's eye view from its perspective as it spins around aloft within the storm. As the sole person that's still out in the streets, Faroük, literally dancing in the rain, now with his pupils back, but still fixated up at the sky. as they kind of spin and twirl around him in tandem. Smiles as he looks at them before they dissipate off into the distance. And he dances for 3. He dances for his new family and the community inside of Stormforge. He dances in celebration of Loluphia exerting her divination in a city that has always told her to keep it to herself. And the third, he dances for their friend far, far up in the stars that he knows is behind those clouds. And he just lets that rain dissipate onto his skin as it is just cold enough to hit his Ifrit body and steam. As eventually he kind of spins to a stop out there in a puddle and just looks in the frame of that window in the Amber Forge. And he sees all the different groups of his new adopted family between Myshkin and Kaivar in the corner, Kallisto and Loluphia with the rest of their family, and little Ziva. And just a big grin comes over his face as he realizes this is a birthday that Ziva will never forget. And like a big, wet golden retriever, he comes running in to where Ziva's at and shakes all of his feather and armor like a dog.
No way! Farouk!
Happy birthday, kiddo!
Wait, look what I can do. And he prestidigitations as it immediately just gets sucked up in his fur. Is fluffy once more. Wasn't even bothered.
That's cheating.
It's not. Using my resources.
He says with a big smile. And he's gonna go and sit down and take a long stare at the forge. You guys are free to cut scene there if you so wish, and take your long rest and wake up in the morning, or you are free to have some more RP. The choice is yours.
I think just briefly, as that last corner of the page flies off, the book itself slowly starts to close of its own accord. Who's in that part of the Amber Forge? Who's in that room? Is it just me and Myshkin?
I am.
Farouk.
All right. Let's all roll perception checks at disadvantage.
No. All right.
Shit, Ed, wow. And if you wish so as well, RoBear.
Didn't have my character sheet up on this screen. Going through 8 layers of hell over here to get it. All right. Perception check. Got it.
Don't know what the threshold for this would certainly be.
Your choice.
Kaivar is totally lost in rapture. We'll say that clearly, Myshkin, as you see that book close, you can hear the imperceptible hum. And it's very hard to understand it. It's not quite purring, but it does almost sound as though the book is thrumming with a new kind of resonance to it. Like it's content, like it's acknowledging something. You've never seen the book be anything more than a sort of book in this sense. It's never given acknowledgement to something in the way that it would show its own feelings or emotion, which is rather odd. But it is still just a book, even if it is one of Kaivar's weird, buggy, homunculi type books. Do with that what you will.
I don't think Myshkin will do anything with it yet. He notices it, but frankly, everything else seems small at this point.
Without noticing much of the change immediately, Kaivar is going to pick up the blade, pick up his book, and hand the blade back to you. I would not want you to forget this. Yes, yes.
I don't think I will forget this for some time, my friend.
Yes, yes.
Myshkin is just going to lean over and kiss Kaivar on the forehead and just... You can feel a very wet nose, just like... boop.
Kaivar doesn't quite understand the immediacy of gestures, but is definitely going to give you the hug back, because he knows that one now. So he's going to go ahead and give the hug. The big four-armed hug. Drops the Vox in the process too, but doesn't care.
Myshkin just sort of squeezes your shoulder and...
Sleep well, my friend.
And I think Myshkin is going to head on out and enjoy the rain, I think. Just gonna go for a walk. Nice wet walk.
Lolly would have had Ziva finally go to bed for real this time.
Good luck.
He's so excited. He's just in bed. It's like, Farouk's right, this is gonna be the best birthday for the rest of my life. We're going to top it next year. Ooh, and I'm gonna hold it over their heads.
I can just imagine dancing lights underneath the bed sheet, like the lights are off. It's like you can't quite cut the magic off in time when you check.
He makes his own tent under his duvet, just sitting there until he eventually finds slumber. And Loluphia would encourage to Kallisto. Let's go to bed.
You don't have to tell me twice. I'm
Thank goodness, because I wasn't. I was going to go regardless.
Yeah, no. Also, I'm thinking I'm getting old. I'm starting feeling my knees. I'm not going to sleep. Okay.
Brittle even. Careful.
Oh no, that's not good if you stand up after sitting like Farouk.
Everything cracks.
Myshkin, as you walk by, Farouk has been in here for no more than a handful of minutes, and you already see he's fallen asleep trying to eat the piece of zucchini bread.
With these new hands, Myshkin is just going to rest one of these just on Farouk's shoulder and just smiling at him, just reaches down and picks up a blanket and just drapes it across this big-hearted, big-shouldered guardian. Just tuck him in. I'm just gonna head on out. And we'll just stand in the rain. And feel the water on his horns. And just holding out a hand from underneath the cover of the roof, we'll just feel rivulets of water just running between the scales and descending into the inclines and the crevices all across his hand. It almost seems strange to have these hands that he was so familiar with as a child at the end of his own arms, and yet it feels right as well. And just as they protected him, now they will protect his new family.
And I think the camera would zoom out on your stroll. And I think that is a lovely place for us to end this session and pick up next in the morning after a very wild experience.
Oh, dude, you have horns!
Claire's gonna be like, oh, you're puberty?
Cool.
Oh, you're a full devil now. Okay, cool.
As
I've
next
heard of
week,
late bloomers before, but I've never heard of it at the age of 70, 80.
after
How old
all
do
the
demons
weight
get anyway?
of this episode is gone and it's back to the shit postery of jibbing each
Can
other
we-
as a family.
That's how Cliss is gonna react.
100%.
Puberty? Cool. That's great.
Can we all take a moment to say, Ed, that was the most beautiful?
Fucking
Down in
hell,
hell.
Ed.
It was so good.
Incredible.
And has a way with words.
I was trying to hold back fucking tears at several
I was
different
crying.
points, man. Fuck.
I would be crying, but I'll be honest, I'm so hungry right now.
Fight
I'm
the
so
hanger.
shady. That was beautiful. I'm so hungry right now.
The most on-brand Kallisto response. Cry, but man, my stomach though.
You have to refuel.
I am with you. I am also ready for some food. Didn't know that's how today was gonna go, and I love it.
Such a
Really well
such
done,
a
everyone.
privilege.
Really good.
Seriously, you guys are phenomenal. Holy shit.
You are as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I love this group.
Yeah.
just to unpack one fun little thing about the encounter, if you all had continued to engage naturally, it would have not returned fire. It would have just kept talking to you and getting more and getting more and getting more. It wanted you to be there as long as you could possibly be. It would have taken drastic reductions in its constitution for it to have tried to stop you. And Cimrek himself, in the center, was invulnerable.
Checks out.
Cool. Good to know.
It was
Yeah.
only
For the future.
it was only
Years.
the sides that were active inside of this encounter.
So Yancey, you know how we put a ring on it? Wanna come do a guy a solid? Okay, you're angry. Never mind. It's okay.
And you
Is
released
Cimrek
Darkheart.
still around? So I don't know if we even got, is Cimrek still around or did Darkheart deal with that?
Darkheart dealt with the part of Cimrek that was inside the gun.
That was in the
Darkheart got his,
so
you know,
gotcha.
that ancient void dragon got his final revenge.
Okay.
And was able.
Okay.
He Darkheart took the chance to open the gun and take his last chance as you guys seemed to stifle him. It was its opportunity to go.
Yeah.
And they took it. So now that piece of Cimrek is gone, whatever was contained inside of it, and that void dragon has transcended back into stardust.
I won't lie. The prospect of that setup felt perfect. Because holy fucking shit. Having just gone through the whole journey from social to individual, and then being confronted with that prospect of we want to all become one again. Fuck, dude. there was some realistic fear in Kaivar's mind for sure.
Love that you tapped into it that way. It was something I hadn't even thought about.
Because for real, that's now the dimension he's learning to see things through for the first time. But he knows what the other side feels like, and he's seen the sort of the carelessness with which subordinate parts get treated. So it's just, he's like, fuck no, I'm not going back to that. This is great. I'm good. I think we're all good. Like, no,
I'm happy.
No, thank you. I'll pass. I will pass on that. Oh.
Beautiful episode, y'all. And so we can escape here with the correct amount of F-bombs before they demonetize.
My apologies. My apologies.
Fudge.
Every time. I'm so sorry. I need to
Adopt the southern ways and say heckin' or freaking.
It's okay. We've gone 30 seconds now.
In UK, bloody.
I personally don't say bloody.
No, do I? No, I don't say bloody.
Oh goodness.
Oh, ragamuffin.
It's quite a kerfuffle over here.
I love
What was it you said the other day,
Kerfluffle's
Sam? You're
great.
like, oh, Sam, you walnut.
Oh, yeah.
That's Sam. That's still Sam coded.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, no.
Who else were we going to call with? They were like, I think you're secretly British. Oh, it was Jasper, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
Jasper was like, that's something a British person would say to themselves.
Yeah. You bloody donut.
I'm
Yeah,
very
donut.
curious
Napkin.
of when you all wake up, where you want to go first. With as many chess pieces that are on the board between the Aarakocra here, looming Yansi Bin, what is transpiring in the mines, and what may be happening within a sect of the Voshborg.
Yes.
I mean,
All of it.
Myshkin has
Party
been
split.
wearing a burlap sack for the better part of a week.
Can I please
think
take you dress like shopping and make you all pretty?
I would
Shopping
love that.
episode?
Yes.
Kallisto's coming with you because every single time both of you have gone away together, something's gone wrong.
It's true.
You know, that's so true.
You know,
Today was
Lolly,
Myshkin's
I trust
first
you
walk.
with male friends, but at the same time, this one is dangerous.
Like, I truly do not mind you having guy friends, but every time you're with this one, someone
No,
nearly
let's
dies.
be real. You're now just
Myshkin's a
concerned
bad
because he's
boy.
horny. So
Damn. How about
Hey,
And
I
Tansy.
love a guy with handlebars as well, but this one is dangerous.
Myshkin's is a guy trying to get some respect in a library, okay?
he's got hands now.
Ooh, how will she treat you differently?
Like, oh,
Oh,
I can flip people off now. This is great.
the thing
Like, I mean, you
I've been
could do that
missing out on?
before.
Yeah, you
Yeah, I
could do
could.
it
I just have
before.
to like spend an action to do it.
Now it's a free action.
Yeah. Shadow ban this.
oh my god.
Your camera started to go dark as you did that.
Oh god.
Whoa, magic trick.
I am magic.
You are magic. Shoot, with the words that you spewed out, I don't think there's anything that comes out of
I
your mouth.
spewed, yeah, I spewed.
The perfect way, since I'm not going to get to play D&D for a very long time this week. Thank you guys.
Yes.
My heart is full, but me and Drak's bellies are empty. So we're going to love and leave you all. Have a wonderful rest of your week. We'll catch you guys next session.